Now at 5, Freeman opens a new clinic in Pittsburgh, what it could mean for patients. Plus, a crash spills 500 pounds of marijuana onto a Missouri interstate.
President Biden says the U.S. is sending more weapons and ammunition to Ukraine. I'm Natalie Brand at the White House. Why he says the timing is so critical.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Some of us have seen some thunderstorms today, and we could get some more threatening weather in the days ahead. This is KOAM News at 5. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, we've been tracking some thunderstorms mainly in our northern counties. Only about 1 or 2 storms that have really popped up, but they have been severe. A lot of hail within these storms. You can see this cluster now is moving out of the region, really just north of Springfield, and it has even a tornado warning on it. But the history of it, we've had a lot of hail within these storms. You can see these hail tracks over the past couple hours. At one point, we were getting baseball-sized hail just to the southeast in Nevada. Good news here is these are going to start to calm down, so most of us look pretty good for the rest of the night, but our severe threat jumps right back up as we head into the weekend. Also, the temperatures jump up. We're sitting into the upper 70s right now. The winds are really going to increase. We had a warm front that lifted through a few hours ago, so it's going to be windy over the next few days. Temps this evening, we drop back through the 70s, 60s. We only bottom out mid-60s for overnight lows. Of course, we're going to look at that next severe threat by the weekend here in just a bit.
All right, we'll see you then. Freeman Health System today opened a new clinic in Pittsburgh. The Freeman Specialty Clinic will provide easier access to specialists for patients living in the Pittsburgh area rather than driving to the specialty clinic in Joplin.
We will have a variety of specialists that are operating out of this clinic, but to begin with, we have endocrinology, nephrology, and pulmonology, and then we'll be adding pain medicine very soon as well as some other testing services.
The clinic is on North Broadway in the former Quinlan Eye Center building. As if medical school isn't hard enough, one KCU Joplin first-year student is taking things to the next level and just returned to his studies after competing in the Boston Marathon. Daniel O'Kelly says this was his first time running in the Boston Marathon and finished the 26.2 miles in under 3 hours. He says as someone wanting to go into medicine, the experience taught him more about helping future patients stay healthy.
I'll certainly champion running as a physician when I'm trying to keep my patients healthy. I just want them to really see exercise as a positive thing rather than a source of discomfort and pain.
Tonight at 6, we're going to hear more about Daniel's experience at the Boston Marathon and how it shaped him as a medical student and future physician. Big donation today is going to help fund a mural in Joplin honoring Black history. Connect to Culture gave a $6,500 check to the Langston Hughes Cultural Society. They raised the money from a concert by saxophonist and Joplin native Charles McPherson. The mural will feature famous Black Americans who are either from Joplin, like McPherson, or performed in Joplin, including Ella Fitzgerald, Cab Calloway, Dizzy Gillespie. The location of the mural has not yet been decided. We're going to hear from an organizer tonight at 6. A multiple vehicle crash scatters 500 pounds of marijuana across a Missouri interstate. Yesterday, 4:20, troopers say a semi swerved to avoid a previous crash on Interstate 70 east of Columbia. That's when a pickup rear-ended the semi. A second semi then traveled off the left side of the road and struck the pickup. The crash injured 3 people in that pickup and scattered bags of marijuana all across the interstate. Authorities have charged 2 men with felony drug trafficking. President Biden announced new funding for Ukraine after Russia launched a heightened assault in the eastern part of the country. New satellite images also show evidence of mass graves near the war-torn city of Mariupol. Natalie Brand has more from the White House.
Good morning, everyone.
Calling it a critical window of time ahead of the next phase of the war in Ukraine, President Biden says another $800 million worth of defense assistance is on the way.
Now we have to accelerate that assistance package to help prepare Ukraine for Russia's offensive that's going to be more limited in terms of geography, but not in terms of brutality.
Among the weapons being sent, 72 howitzers, ammunition, tactical drones, and vehicles. The president also said the U.S. has provided 10 anti-armor systems for every one Russian tank in Ukraine.
We won't always be able to advertise everything that our partners are doing to support Ukraine and fight for freedom, but to modernize Teddy Roosevelt's famous advice, sometimes we will speak softly and carry a large javelin, because we're sending a lot of those in as well.
President Biden also said he'll ask Congress for more money next week to keep weapons flowing into Ukraine without interruption.
We have the capacity to do this for a long time.
In the besieged city of Mariupol, Ukrainian civilians and soldiers remain inside a steel plant surrounded by Russian forces. President Putin is now ordering his troops to block it so, quote, not even a fly can get through. 12 miles west of Mariupol, new satellite images show more than 200 mass graves. They started appearing March 23rd and have expanded this month. There are reports Russian soldiers are burying bodies here of people killed in Mariupol. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, the White House.
President Biden also announced a new program, Unite for Ukraine, that'll bring Ukrainian refugees from Europe to the U.S. Refugees who have a U.S. sponsor, such as a family member, can take advantage of a streamlined immigration process. Later, environmentally friendly to the end and beyond.
Protecting the environment after life. I'm Danya Backus with a look at how funerals are going green.
But first, the story of a teen who got a second chance at life thanks to a transplant. That's next in Health Watch. Topping today's Health Watch, a new study sheds light on the benefits of donating blood. According to research published in JAMA Network Open, donating blood regularly can cleanse the bloodstream of PFAs, chemicals also known as forever chemicals, made of plastics often found in food packaging and major fast food chains. Those chemicals can pose harmful side effects. They've been associated with fetal weight loss, asthma, thyroid disease, and other lung diseases. Every 20 minutes, someone in the U.S. dies on the organ transplant waiting list. 95% of Americans are in favor of being an organ donor, but only 54% are registered. April is National Donate Life Month, a time designed to highlight the importance of organ donation. Today we meet one teenager who overcame tremendous odds and is still here today because of a stranger's life-saving act. Dominic Lipko was an active teen and loved sports, but early last year he started feeling exhausted all the time.
I couldn't sit up. It was that bad.
Dominic had to be rushed to the hospital. His system was giving out.
He was coughing up blood. And so he had respiratory insufficiency. He needed to be intubated.
It was just really up in the air watching him, fight for his life.
Joseph, a single dad, stayed by his son's side for 42 days. During that time, doctors diagnosed Dominic with lupus, an autoimmune disease.
They say that lupus usually goes after all the cells in your body, while your kidneys carry the most cells in your body, so it usually goes after the kidneys. So it destroyed his kidneys.
Dominic needed a kidney transplant. At 15, he was one of the approximately 100,000 Americans in need of a new kidney. Each year, about 22,000 kidney transplants take place, less than 1/4 of the patients in need. Dominic received hemodialysis to stay alive, a procedure that does the work of the kidneys to clean the blood.
He's a strong kid.
I think it's harder on my family than me.
At the end of January, the family got the call they'd been waiting for. Dominic received a donor organ. The Lipkas take nothing for granted.
Be thankful for every day you get that you're healthy and your feet hit the ground in the morning.
Dominic's doctors say he's recovering and his energy levels are back to normal. By the end of this month, they say he should be able to return to normal activities, including baseball. He'll need to take anti-rejection medications that also control his lupus for the rest of his life. For people who are not registered as an organ donor and are interested in doing so, you can register in person at your local driver's licensing center or online, organdonor.gov. Antidepressants might not be a full cure for those battling with depression. Analysts studied the diagnoses of 17.4 million people with depression for 2 years, with 58% of them taking antidepressants. They found although the medication improved mental well-being, it did not greatly better patients' physical and mental health when compared to those who didn't take any drugs. Older and Black Americans are being prescribed antibiotics inappropriately and at a disproportionate rate. That's according to a new study from the University of Texas. Researchers found nearly 3/4 of antibiotics prescribed to patients 65 or older and 2/3 prescribed to Black patients were inappropriate. The most common reasons for the prescriptions were illnesses not caused by bacterial infections like skin conditions, viral respiratory issues, and bronchitis. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, environmentally friendly funeral options.
Plus, we still have some thunderstorms out there for the evening hours, more for the weekend. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, of course, we've had a warm front that has lifted through over the past several hours, so it's very warm, it's muggy outside, and we have had some scattered thunderstorms, mainly in our northern counties throughout the afternoon. And we have had a few severe thunderstorm warnings. These storms have been dropping some very large hail, but they are lifting out of the region as our warm front continues to lift north. Our chances for thunderstorms will start to go down, but you can see these guys, these have been pretty big throughout the afternoon hours. Now this cluster is starting to push off toward the east. It does have a tornado warning on it north of Springfield, but again, this is rolling east, so the western edge is really kind of from Stockton Lake, and these will continue to work out of the region. So that is good news, but look at the hail tracks. So we can go all the way back to Fort Scott, one just to the south of Nevada, where we were getting ping pong size hail. And then we had baseball size hail just to the west of Stockton Lake. So these have been dropping some pretty big hail sizes across the region. And you can see our front, here's our warm front. So now that the front is lifting north, we're in that warm sector. We're gonna get that cap back in place, meaning we're not gonna get any thunderstorms for about the next 48 hours, and then we'll start to see some changes. So any thunderstorms tonight into tomorrow will mainly stay north of the region. Here's our next storm system. Pacific Northwest, that system will give us a severe threat by the time we head into the weekend. Looks pretty good. Indigo sky outside right now, of course, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. It's warm. Temperatures have been warming up, upper 70s to lower 80s in our southern counties. The winds are also going to increase, so it is going to be windy by the time we head into the daytime hours tomorrow, and then continuing into the weekend. South winds at about 10 to 20. 7th and range line looks pretty good, 78. Gusts upwards about 25 miles per hour. Of course, it is Third Thursday. Downtown Joplin tonight looks pretty good. Temps are going to drop back through the 70s, 60s, but we're only going to bottom out into the mid 60s later on tonight. All right, here's our severe threat again, right back in. This is for Saturday. I'm going to keep all the risks low right now, but most likely these are going to have to be bumped up as we get a little bit closer. Mainly 3 p.m. all the way until Sunday morning. Main threat, hail and wind, but we are going to have a tornado threat by the time we head into Saturday afternoon. All right, tonight mainly mid-60s. We look okay. Any thunderstorms stay north. It's going to be warm. It's going to be windy once again for us tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a fairly nice day. It's just going to be windy. 76 by noon, high temp of 81 during the afternoon. Tomorrow night looks fine. We are going to get some clouds in here. And then as we go into Saturday, we'll start to get some scattered thunderstorms popping up 4 or 5 p.m. And again, we are going to have a severe threat, hail, wind, and a tornado threat as these drive in. Also very heavy amounts of rain by the time we head into Saturday night. So we do want to keep our eyes on that. Of course, we are getting into the heart of severe weather season. So we're going to go ahead and make Saturday and Sunday alert days. 81 tomorrow, a little bit cooler early next week. Severe threat returns next Thursday.
Wow, and we'll keep an eye on those alert days, of course, this weekend.
Definitely.
Thanks, Tom. Hey, here's a look at our tower camera sponsored by R.E. Smith Construction as work continues on the KOAM More Power project. Check it out anytime. Our website, koamnewsnow.com/power. Coming up, funerals going green. First, though, we honor a local veteran of the U.S. Air Force. Nathan Taylor joined in 2008, served in Iraq and Afghanistan. His hometown, Uniontown, Kansas. And we're proud to salute Technical Sergeant Nathan Taylor, a four-state hero. Topping today's Consumer Watch, Amazon is opening up Prime deliveries to third-party retailers. Buy with Prime allows merchants to put the Prime badge on their website and list items available for free next day or 2-day delivery. It's the latest move from the online retail giant trying to compete with rivals UPS and FedEx. When we think of protecting the environment, we think of options we can do while we're alive, like recycling. Conserving water maybe, but did you know there are green end-of-life options? Danya Bacchus looks at how people choose to protect the environment after life.
She was very strong and put up a really good fight.
Donna Augusto lost her mother to bladder cancer last April.
I knew that she wanted to be cremated and have some of her remains spread with my father's remains.
Instead of a traditional cremation, Donna decided to go with an eco-friendly water cremation, or aquamation. It combines warm water in an alkali solution to decompose the body.
It does not put any emissions into the air.
Phil Barrick is the president of White Rose Aqua Cremation in Escondido, California. He says water cremation uses 90% less energy than flame cremation.
How do people get ashes from this process?
At the end of this process, you still have the bones. The bones are then run through a processing machine that basically turns it into a very fine powder.
Aquamation is just one approach to environmentally friendly burials. Some people want to give directly to the earth by turning their body into compost.
What body composting is a managed biological process that occurs inside of a vessel.
Seth Vidal is the manager of the Natural Funeral in Lafayette, Colorado. Colorado, Oregon, and Washington are the 3 states where body composting is legal. The funeral home built a chrysalis composting vessel that turns remains into soil.
And inside that vessel, we place wood chips, alfalfa, straw, and then a microbial brew of both bacteria and fungal agents. And over the course of about 4 to 6 months, the body, along with those other organic bulking agents, are converted into a beautiful, rich, living soil.
The soil is then given to the family or donated to sanctioned farms. Vidal says most of his clients want to give back to the earth as their final act, a way to protect the environment after life. Danya Bacchus, CBS News, Escondido, California.
Aquamation is now legal in at least 20 states. No funeral homes in Kansas currently offer aquamation. However, it is offered in Kansas City, Missouri. Oklahoma and Arkansas have no laws that specifically address that process. Barbie is getting the royal treatment. To honor Queen Elizabeth II's 96th birthday and her Platinum Jubilee, Mattel is out with a Barbie doll in her likeness. The doll's regal ensemble includes an ivory gown, a blue ribbon with decorations of order, a crown, and matching accessories. Final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, Florida's face-off with Disney and why taxpayers could be the ones who end up paying the price. Then on KOAM News at 6, more from the KCU Joplin medical student who participated in the Boston Marathon. Plus, the campaign to fully legalize marijuana in Oklahoma and budget projections for Kansas. Stay with us, CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Some of you dealt with some storms today, and in the days ahead, more of us will see the same.
Yeah, we've had the scattered thunderstorms mainly in our northern counties. I really think we're going to dry out quite a bit over the next 48 hours. It's really going to warm up, 81 for us tomorrow. Thunderstorm threat right back in Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, and Sunday morning with a severe threat, so we need to keep our eyes on that.
Certainly will. We're going to leave you tonight with a live look at downtown Joplin, where this month's third Thursday event is just about to get underway. Again, this is live high overhead. We're going to see you right back here at 6. Let's make it a great evening.